Welcome back to Success with Steven. My name is Steven Smith. On this channel, we discuss all things financial literacy. Did you know that simple mugs have sold thousands of times online, and some sellers are currently making hundreds of dollars per day in profit from designs that look like it took less than 10 minutes to create? When most of us think about making money online, we usually imagine something complicated, but the truth is some of the most profitable online businesses are very boring. They're simple, they're repeatable, and they're built around products that people use every single day. One of those products is mugs. Yes, just regular mugs, not some revolutionary technology, not some secret cryptocurrency strategy, not some random business model where you need about 6 months to learn code or do anything before you can make your first dollar. I'm talking about using Printful to create print-on-demand mugs, list those mugs online, and letting Printful handle the printing, packing, and shipping for you after customers place an order. Mugs are one of the easiest products to understand because everybody knows exactly what a mug is. People buy mugs for themselves, they buy mugs as gifts, they buy them for birthdays, holidays, and almost every niche you could think of will use this. But a mug is not just a mug when the design speaks to a specific person, and that's where the money is. You're not just selling a ceramic cup. You're selling a joke, a memory, a personalized gift, a feeling, a statement, or something that makes somebody say, that's exactly what I need to buy for this person. That's why print-on-demand mugs can work so well. This is a very simple product, but the emotional trigger behind the purchase is very powerful. So in this video, I'm going to show you real shops and listings that are using this exact business model to generate hundreds of thousands of dollars in sales. Then I'll walk you step by step through how you can actually start this process for yourself, even if you're brand new. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. Currently, we are on Etsy.com. I went to the search bar and I typed in coffee mugs. I want you to get an idea of some examples that you can actually make by using print on demand. So let's take a look at this personalized coffee mug right here. Now, the reason why I chose this one is because custom mugs have the most potential out of any other mug that you're going to see on Etsy. Now, if you take a look at this, anyone can actually choose whatever type of size or color that they're looking for when it comes to a mug, like black, white, 11 ounce, 15 ounce, anything like that. You can then design it to be text, photo only, or photo plus text. Now, this is the thing that makes this so profitable. Really, it's very simple to actually do. You allow someone to select the option, and that way they can personalize this as much as they would like. And they can choose to print on both sides unless they want to request otherwise, anything like that. And then, as you can see here, this particular seller has 649 reviews. And from what you can tell, all of the reviews are really high as far as the quality, the shipping, customer service. 98% buyers would recommend this listing. And if we keep scrolling down here, we can actually see how many sales this person has had and how long they've been on Etsy. So it's been 2.6K actual reviews, 17.9K sales, and then 2 years on Etsy. Now, I just want to scroll back up so you can take a look at the prices one more time. See, depending on the ounce of the mug, it can start off as low as around, I think it had $11 on here. But as you start to actually get a little bit higher, well, $17.59. And as you go up, it can be $24.19. So, I mean, there are various amounts that this mug can actually range to. And again, personalizing it is the big sale here. And right now, there are things coming up like Father's Day. There'll be some more holidays. Someone mentioned here that this was a great birthday gift for their sister. And you can see all the different options here, right? So people put pictures of their baby or their dad or coach or things that they like or they identify with, all right? People love being able to customize things. So let's just say, like, generally speaking, this seller might make $12 per mug at 17,900 actual sales. That's around $214,800. Now, if we divide that by 2, they've been selling for 2 years. You're looking at around $107,400 per year. Now, this is some very, very rough math, but I just want to give you a general idea of how this can be profitable, and you can do this all from the comfort of your home. Now, as we just saw from our example, there's definitely potential and money to be made with this business model. And the reason this business model is so beginner friendly is because Printful removes most of the barriers when it comes to selling physical products. Normally, if you want to sell mugs, you would need to order inventory first, and that's where it can be dangerous for business owners. Imagine spending $1,000 ordering mugs with a design that you thought was amazing, only for you to realize that no one actually wants it. Now you're stuck with boxes of mugs just sitting in your house, and every time you walk past them, they remind you of your bad decision. But Printful will help you avoid that problem because the product is only created after the customer will place an order. Not only that, if you give the customer the option to customize it, they're getting exactly what they want. And depending on the return policy, sometimes for personalized items, it's really very hard to return them since they were made exactly for that specific person. So that is something to consider. It also means that you can test very different mug ideas without buying inventory up front. And then you can list those mugs online, and then people can respond to what they actually like, or they can make what they like. And if you decide that you want to make your own design and let's say it doesn't sell, well, you're not stuck with inventory. You can just move on, improve your design, maybe change the title or change the mockup or create a completely different listing. That's one of the biggest advantages of print on demand. It gives you room to test, and testing is everything. The true goal for you becomes creating more listings, improving your designs, improving your product photos, improving your keywords, and increasing the chance that people may actually find your mugs and be able to buy them. Because if one listing can make a few dollars in profit, then 10 listings can make and create even more chances. 100 listings can create even more opportunities. And if you continue improving, learning, studying, and you see what's already selling, you can build a real online passive income stream over time. Now let's break this business model down in the simplest way possible. You're going to use Printful as your production and fulfillment partner. Printful has blank products, including mugs that you can customize and you can design. You create that design, you place it on the mug, and then Printful gives you a product mockup that shows you exactly what the mug will look like. From there, you list that product for sale. Now you can sell this through a marketplace like Etsy, where people already are searching for gifts and personalized products, or you can also build your own store using Shopify or a different platform altogether. For most beginners, I would say that Etsy is very attractive because it already has shoppers. You're not starting from zero traffic the same way you would with a brand new website. But the trade-off is that Etsy is very competitive and you have to create listings that will stand out. You have to use strong keywords and make your product look like something people would actually want to buy. Once the mug is listed and a customer finds it and places an order, that order will get sent to Printful. Printful will produce the mug and ship it to customers, and your profit comes from the gap between your selling price and the cost, and that is the entire model. Now, if your design is not personalized, then it can be even more passive because the exact same mug is sent to the customer every single time. However, if you do personalize the design, it may require a little more work because the customer might want that name, that photo, a date, a quote, or a custom message added to the mug. But like I said before, personalized mugs can also sell extremely well because people love gifts that feel unique. So I would say you have two main paths here. You can make passive designs where the buyer gets exactly what's shown in the listing, or you can make a design that's custom where buyers provide you a name, a photo, a phrase, or an idea, and you adjust the idea before it's sent to Printful. And I believe that both of these work very well, but the best strategy for many beginners is to test both outcomes. Now, if you would like to get started with Printful, there will be a link down in the description. I highly recommend that you check it out, create an account, and start making your print-on-demand mugs today. Now, before you design anything, you have to decide what type of mug that you're going to be creating. Now, with Printful, you'll be able to create different type of mugs depending on what's available in your account and, of course, in your region. Now, you may see a classic white mug, a black mug, an accent mug, travel mugs, and other drinkable ware. But for beginners, I would not overcomplicate this. Just start with a standard mug because it's simple, it's familiar, and it's very easy for you to sell. The standard white mug is popular because it works with almost any design. It gives you a clean background, it makes the mug easy to see, and it feels familiar to customers. Once you understand the process, then you can test other styles like black mugs, accent mugs, or even travel mugs. But don't let the product selection stop you from getting started. A lot of people spend too much time trying to pick the perfect product and they never actually create the listings. The product matters, but the offer matters even more. A basic mug with the right design can outperform a fancy mug with a boring design. So again, start simple. Pick a mug, learn how Printful works, upload a design, create a mockup, and get your first listing live. Your first goal is not perfection. Your first goal is just getting motion. Now, really quick, I want to talk about research because this is where a lot of beginners make a huge mistake. They design based only on what they personally like. And just because a mug looks good to you doesn't mean there's a demand for it. Instead, you want to study what people are already buying. So let's go back to Etsy and we'll search the mug categories. And then after that, we'll go to Printful and take a look at how you would actually create your mug option. All right, so currently we are back on Etsy, and as you can see, there are a few different type of mugs here. Like here's a personalized gamer mug. I think that's really cool where you can get something like this. I mean, that looks like really nice. You can also add a name here. There's also this funny frog coffee mug. I think that one's really interesting too, especially for someone that likes frogs. And then you have, other types of mugs, the custom mug that we saw. Let's keep scrolling down and see what other options that we have here. Like here's a funny one, this don't worry, I watched a YouTube video. I think that's hilarious. Coffee or I'll shoot. Like there is a lot of different options here that you could pick from. Now I have a lot of videos on print on demand where I talk about doing research. I've shown you how to do that with AI tools where let's say you really like one of these designs or a few of these. You can then take a picture of this, throw it into something like Claude or Chat GPT, and then you can actually have it create a design for you. You can clean up that design on, let's say, Canva AI, and then you can make your own design that's similar to this, but not an exact copy. You do not want to just simply copy someone's listing that they currently have. That is not how you get sales. Instead, you want to find a commonality, something that actually makes this product very popular, and then you create multiple listings and you can see if any of them sell. Once again, it won't cost you any money unless someone actually pays for that actual mug. So all it really takes is for you to create several popular designs. You would list all of them and then start seeing what's actually getting traction. Now, currently we are on printful.com. I'm going to search for the mugs. And then here are all of our mug options here. Let's just see the matches. So we have options like a latte mug, a black glossy mug, a white glossy mug, which I mean, if you look at the reviews, 1,978 reviews and 5 stars. Obviously, this one is like one of the best. Then there's the white ceramic mug with the color inside. Obviously, this one is another bestseller. And then as you can see here, from 11 ounce to 15 ounce, the price, $7.95. Or if you have the Printful growth plan, it's $6.49. And even the white glossy mug is $4.95 with Printful growth. So I mean, just imagining what you can get for profit margins if you were selling this for like $25, it's pretty good. If we keep going, there are enamel mugs, there are travel mugs with a handle. Then there's the stainless steel water bottle, which of course is not a mug, but I mean, it fell into the category. That's not something I would worry about, but these are all pretty good. So I would say just based off of what we can see here, I would select these two as my mugs for Printful. People like the white glossy with the color and people really like the white glossy mug. Now, as we can see here, depending on the size that you pick, 11 ounce, 15 ounce, 20 ounce, that will determine exactly what the price is going to be. Again, with Printful growth, it's $7.95 for the highest mug. And just to click on Printful growth for 1 second, in case you have any questions about that, it is $24.99. You get up to 33% off of premium products, 9% off of branding, 25% off sample orders, and then you also get a few other things here. So if you would like, you could start a free 14-day trial if you want to check this out. But back to our design, let's actually customize this for 1 second and see what we can create. So if you want, you have a few different options with Printful. You can upload your design. You can actually add some text here. There's also some clip art if you don't have a design yet that you can just throw on here, and then it allows you to actually take the graphic, you can enlarge it, and I love that it actually gives you the ratios, right? Then you have this model where you can take a look at it, and if I want, I could actually spread it like a little bit further. And as you can see, the closer I move it to the right hand side, it gets closer to the handle, and you can choose if you want it more like in the center of the mug, or it looks like if I wanted to, I might be able to add additional art and stretch this out. Again, that's if you want to make your own custom design, and that's going to be determined by your market research and what you see is actually in demand currently at this time. Now, something else that's very cool is that you can choose different colors here in splashes. I think that's really, really nice. However, like we saw, the white glossy mug is very popular, but if you wanted to, you could create something that's like really cool, like this. I mean, red cup, basketball, white on the inside. I mean, I think that's pretty nice, especially if you give your customers the option to customize things like this. I think that would be like really, really cool. There's also premium options like patterns that you can add, but I would always keep in mind that the more that you add, the more money it'll actually cost you to produce this mug that will eat into your profit margins. Now, let's say that I actually like this mug and I want to publish this. The next thing we'll take a look at is our mockup styles. Printful will provide these for you, but I highly recommend that you, let's say, maybe even take your own. Again, if you have Printful Growth, then you can order a sample. You can actually just take a lifestyle photo of yourself with your own mug, drinking out of it, and then you can post those pictures. I think the more comfortable that people look, the more natural that it looks, the better that it is. Or you can just use one of these. It doesn't really matter, but choosing the right one can make or break your listing. So make sure that you do some research and try to pick something you think will resonate with your audience. Then, as you can see here, I have my price options where it tells me the range from $4.95 to possibly $7.95 with Printful Growth. I also included shipping cost in my calculation. It says that can be $8.49. So if I had a retail price of $25 for, let's say, a custom mug, and again, this can vary by, let's say, 11 ounce, 15 ounce, 20 ounce, the customization options, things like that. It shows me that I could potentially earn $7.01 to $12.56. Now, there are some things you want to take into account, like marketing and research, but we're going to talk about that in 1 second. But just like generally speaking, if we're just looking at this without trying to, be too specific with our calculations, you can probably make about the same amount of money if you can get the equal amount of sales as our original listing that we saw at the beginning of the video. At least in theory, the profit margins are there. Now, let's talk about price and marketing a little bit more. Pricing is one of the most important parts of this business because you need to price high enough to make a profit, but not so high that customers will ignore your listing. Before setting your price, you have to calculate the full cost. You need to know the Printful product cost, the shipping costs, the marketplace fees, the transaction fees, the payment processing fees, and any advertising cost if you want to use ads. So you do not want to really guess this. You really want to make sure that you work these numbers out first. If you sell a mug for $19.99, but the cost after everything is $17.50, you're only making $2.49 before taxes. Now, that may not be worth it unless you're selling a huge volume. On the other hand, if you can sell a mug for $24.99 or $29.99 because it's personalized, giftable, or premium looking, you may have more room for profit. Custom mugs, again, can often support higher prices because the customer is getting something unique. A generic text mug may need to be more competitively priced unless the design is strong or the niche is very valuable. You can also test your pricing. Sometimes by raising the price, it can actually improve the perception of the product, especially if your mockups and your branding look premium. Now, let's talk about marketing. The biggest mistake that beginners make is thinking that uploading a product is the same as actually building a business, and I'm sorry to tell you, it is not. Your product needs traffic, and if nobody sees your mug, then nobody can actually buy it. So if you're selling on Etsy, your main traffic source will be the Etsy search. That means your keywords really do matter. You want to use words that buyers are actually typing into the search bar. Do not title your mug something vague like beautiful morning cup, because nobody is searching for that. Instead, use buyer-focused keywords like personalized coffee mugs, custom photo mug, funny coworker gift, dog mom mug, retirement gift for women, or teacher appreciation mug. You want to think like a customer because you are one. What would someone type if they wanted to buy this? That is how you build your keywords. And again, you can also look at your competitor listings for inspiration. If multiple sellers use similar keywords, that may be a sign that those keywords are doing very well and that they matter. You can also use seasonal traffic. A lot of mugs will sell especially well around holidays and gift seasons. So think about Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Father's Day, graduation season, Teacher Appreciation Week, or Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, birthdays, weddings, retirements, anniversaries. I mean, all of these can really be good ideas. A smart seller will create listings ahead of the season. You don't want to wait until December 20th to create your Christmas mugs because by then you're already too late. You want to start so early that your listings have time to actually get indexed, tested, and found. So if you want to make this business work, you have to understand that volume really does matter. And I don't mean you just create junk. I mean, you need to have enough listings to give yourself a real chance. See, most people quit too early. They create let's say 10 mugs, they get no sales, and then say print on demand doesn't work for them. But that's like going fishing and you throw a line into the water twice, you catch nothing, and decide there are no fish in the ocean. You need more data than that. Successful print-on-demand sellers usually create a lot of listings because every listing is a new opportunity. Every listing targets different keywords. Every listing speaks to a different customer. Every listing gives you another chance to find a winning design. And that is why consistency really does matter. If you create 5 listings per week, by the end of a year, you'll have over 250 listings. If you create 10 listings per week, you have over 500. Now imagine that only a small percentage of those listings actually sell consistently. That can really add up. The goal is to build a catalog where enough products make sales to create meaningful income. Some listings may never sell. Some may sell once in a while. Some may become steady performers, and a few may become the winners that carry the shop. You have no idea which listing is going to win until you test it, and that is why you need to keep creating. If I were to start this idea from scratch, I would keep the plan very simple. First, I would open a Printful account and I would connect it to the platform where I want to sell. Then I would choose one mug product to start. I would not try to sell every product under the sun. I would focus on mugs until I understand the process. Next, I would research Etsy and look for mug categories that are clearly getting sales. I would pay attention to personalized mugs, gift mugs, funny mugs, profession-based mugs, holiday mugs, and pet mugs, and then I would create a small batch of designs. I would probably start with custom mugs because they are very beginner friendly and they are easier to position as gifts. I might create a custom mug for pets, for custom photos, a custom grandparent mug, a business logo, a custom name mug, or I would create something that's text-based or a specific niche. Then I would create a few AI designs around seasonal or even giftable ideas. Once the designs are ready, I would upload them to Printful, create mockups, and publish these listings, and then I would focus on improving them. You would do this by studying which listings get views. I would study which ones are favorited, and I would study which listings get the most clicks. I would also study which listings convert into sales more often. If something gets no views, maybe the keywords are just really bad or the niche does not have enough demand. Every listing gives you feedback. The people who win are the people who actually use that feedback instead of getting emotional or just quit. All right, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Print-on-demand mugs are not complicated, but that does not mean that they're effortless. The opportunities are real, the mugs are simple, they're giftable, and they're very easy to customize. And once you understand the process, you can keep improving, you can keep testing, and keep stacking more opportunities until you finally create the listing that starts bringing in consistent sales. Sometimes it's a simple mug with the right design shown to the right person at the right time. If you guys got value from this video, please like and subscribe. And if you think this is a very good idea, please put it in the comments below. And what print-on-demand idea are you currently going to create? And as always, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and you have a wonderful day.